Hi everyone, and welcome back to episode 40, I believe, of the weekly update. Let's not waste any time and get straight into it. How has my week been? Well, I feel like the weeks are getting very merged together, or like time is moving really quickly, so it's a bit hard to just put things out, and I feel like I'm actually not being the most productive, or I haven't been very productive for a long time and all of that. But as I talked about in the previous video, I feel like the only way for that to change is by mindset and action. And I have this idea that I really want to so-called lock in, or I really want to go all in on, so I want to go to the extreme. And I know that I have talked about probably this exact thing before, but it's just a very tempting thing for me to do. Like, the idea of going all in, that seems very, very good in my head. It's like, it gives me a lot of dopamine. One part of me wants to go very extreme to one side, to like say that I won't use my phone. I will be very strict about everything, and I believe that that is very good. But on the other hand, from past experiences, that has never really worked out so great. And what I have learned is that the thing that is probably better is just to slowly but surely improve 1%. The compounding effect that you make small improvements, which then lead to big results over time. And that is a more manageable and more realistic way of doing things. So I know that that is probably the wise decision to do. But at the same time, it's really tempting to go all in on something, and it's really something that I feel like one part of me really wants to do, because I want to get the results fast. I want to do things efficiently. I want to do them the right way, but I know that there maybe is no right way. And also one thing which I have learned over this past year maybe, is that a lot of these things that you see on the internet, a lot of these tips that you get when you try to, from people who try to like optimize things, or people who try to do everything perfect, a lot of that doesn't have any results actually. So focusing on the actual outcome, or rather focusing on doing things which actually work, is way better. And that is very obvious when I say it like that, but let me give you one example. So one of my first experiences with self-improvement was cold exposure, or like breath work and cold baths. I saw Wim Hof. This was maybe like 4 years ago, maybe even 5 years ago. I was quite early on that, and I saw him, and I saw like what he was talking about, and I tried it myself, and I really enjoyed it. So for a long time I did like cold bath whenever I got the chance to do that, or like ice bath. And I also started to do daily cold showers, the first thing in the morning, for like 2 years. I did that. I mainly did it during the winter, because then the water was actually cold. During the summer the water is not so cold, but I did it like very consistently every day, boom boom boom, for a long period of time. The last time I did it was like 8 months ago. Or I believe that the effects of a cold shower are great. Like, it's the thing that you least want to do when you get up, and doing that, there is probably some effects of that, and you wake up, you get more energy and all of that. But the effects that I found, I wouldn't describe them as being so great as people describe them on the internet. Or I find that with a lot of things that I try. You hear all of these things that people talk about, that are going to be so great, so revolutionizing, so just amazing in general. And then you try them, and then you try it for yourself. And I at least have never really felt the effects that people talk about. So for example, with the cold shower, you definitely feel good. It's an experience, and I find it quite enjoyable, but it's not that thing that people make it up to be. And to get back to the point, is that a lot of these things that people talk about are really not worth it in a lot of the cases, or they are not worth the time that it takes, or they are not worth the effort that it takes. So what is, or it all depends of course on what your goals are, but like if you want to become successful, if you want to start a business, if you want to earn money, then a lot of these things that you hear on the internet that are big in the whole self-improvement community and all of that, things like cold showers, and there are a lot of things which are even more hocus pocus than that, like the whole super long morning routines and all of that. It's not going to give you the results that you want. Rather, what works is just getting to work and working a lot. That is the thing that gives the best and the most results. But still, you can of course do some of these things, but just see what are your actual goals, or what is it that you actually try to accomplish by doing something. Like doing cold showers every single day, that is fantastic, that is great, but like trying to complicate your morning routine to be like 1.5 hours, that is not efficient, and that is not probably not going to give you better results compared to if you were to just have a quick morning routine, be efficient, and get to work sooner. And one more thing I want to talk about is how to be able to do what I'm doing right now, how to be able to speak in front of the camera without really knowing what you're going to say. For this video, I don't have any notes, I don't have any idea of what I'm going to be talking about. This is all just spontaneous, this is all just from the heart, you could say, but it's all just in the moment. Some of these videos I have a lot more things that I want to say, way more planning, way more notes and stuff, but a lot of the time it's just being present in the moment and trusting your words. And I feel like often the best results come from that. And I believe that that is a great talent or skill to have, to be able to just trust the words that you're going to say. And when you start to think about it too much, then you end up coming out of that flow. And when I first started speaking in front of the camera, I was really quite bad at it, I feel like. I didn't know what I was going to say, and the words just didn't come natural to me. It felt like I didn't know what I was going to say. I never managed to get into this flow state where you just talk, and I'm not sure how to describe it, because it's kind of strange actually. Like, I don't know what I'm going to say next, but I trust the words, and I'm very like connected, so that it all turns out great. When you start to think about it doesn't really make sense. Yeah, and that's why also I believe that doing these sort of videos where you just sit, just you and a camera, and you're speaking, you don't have to post it anywhere. I know I do, but you don't have to do that if you don't want. I believe that there can be benefits of doing that, but just sitting and speaking in front of the camera, I believe that has good benefits. That is one of those things which actually works. If you feel like you are a bit lost, if you feel like you don't know what you want to do, then it can help with that. And if you feel like you want to improve your speaking abilities, and maybe you want to, maybe English isn't your first native language, then it's a great way to become better at speaking and become better at whatever language it is that you speak. And now I think that I'm going to wrap this up. And as of an ending of this video, I thought that I would share one of my first ever videos, which I recorded. It was a bit over 1 year now, and I'm not going to share the whole video, but just a small clip. And I hope that you can that you can see the difference. I really do, because if it isn't as big of a difference as I'd hope, then this whole thing is just a little bit sad. The thing with the time, I found this kind of funny, because everybody always says about time goes really quick, and how it feels like time just flies by. But in my belief, that I also agree with that, but in my belief, I think that time flies because when you look back on things, when you look back on 1 year, 2 years, or even your whole life, it felt like it has gone very, very fast. But if you look for example in the future, 1 year in the future feels like a very long time. So it's only when you look back at things that you feel like time is moving quick. And I believe that is because of many reasons, because for example, you can just grab those memories in an instant. It doesn't take any time, and therefore it feels like oh, that was so long ago, but it feels like it's much less time ago, because you have those memories and you can just instantly visualize that place in your mind. And for your brain, it's hard to believe that for your brain, it's hard to understand time in that way, that time in the past, it just doesn't really have an effect on your memories. It of course has an effect that you remember less, but you don't really can recognize that in your memories, because for you your memories is the truth, but in reality your memory can just switch up a lot of things, and doesn't always tell the truth. But anyways, that was a sidetrack. As always, accomplish great things, and I see you in the next video. Until then, take care and bye. Peace.